Welcome to Natasha's Narrative. This is my third video now, and before I start, I would just like to give a huge thanks to everyone who's liked, watched and subscribed to my videos, and I'd also like to give a huge thanks to everyone who's followed my Instagram, natasha.narrative, and just for the overall support, the comments. It's been amazing, so thank you so much. Today I'm going to be talking about A-levels, a bit of my generalized experience, plus some tips as to what I would rectify if I could. So I remember when I was about to start A-levels, my cousin said to me that A-levels are extremely difficult. It's the most difficult time of your life academically, even worse than university. And I I didn't really take them seriously, I'm not going to lie. I expected there to be a step up, but I had never got lower than a C before, so I was kind of like, might be difficult for you, but not for me type of mentality, which was just really rude, egotistical, and prideful. But anyway, we move. So, I remember after 6 weeks we were given a review test to do, and I was studying biology, chemistry, maths and psychology. And I remember getting my report, which included the grades that I'd received from the test, and our overall kind of performance. And I got the grades, predicted grades for the end of year 13 were B, C, D, D. And I was shocked. I was like, I'd never got a bad report card. This was the first time that I understood why my secondary school friends didn't want to show their reports. I wanted to rip it up. I wanted to hide it. I didn't understand. If it didn't have my full name on it, I would think it didn't belong to me. I was really perplexed. And it was extremely ego bursting, ego blowing. My pride really was reduced in that moment, and I just didn't really have much to say. And it didn't really get better from there, to be honest. So for AS, I ended up getting 2 Bs and 2 Cs. So the 2 Bs were bio and psych, and then the 2 Cs were chemistry and maths. And then I ended up getting BBC overall. So the 2 Bs were bio and chemistry, and then the C in maths. So basically not what I expected to get at all. I wanted to get 3 As. I wanted to go to med school straight away. I had planned out my life, 18, go to med school, finish at 23, 24, F1, F2 doctor, that's 2 years, etc., etc. I had made up my own plan, and God just said no. So that was definitely one of the most disheartening times of my life. But looking back at it, I wish that I had rectified some things and to help you guys not make the same mistakes. Number one, A-levels isn't for everyone. I know parents are still a little bit pushy, and as an older sibling, I know I'm very pushy. So don't let anyone push you into A-levels, because it's an extremely difficult 2 years of your life. And if you don't have courses or subjects that you particularly like within your A-level diaspora, you are not going to want to continue throughout those 2 years. I wanted to quit weekly. I cried weekly, and the only thing that really helped me get through was the fact that I knew that I was going to, or I was planning to anyway, go to med school, and these were the necessary steps that I needed to take, and the fact that I liked those subjects as well. Otherwise I would have quit and just done something else. But we're so lucky that we live in a society where there are apprenticeships now, there college with other vocational courses, college have a wider diaspora of subjects anyway. So that's my first piece of advice. Number two, I would say college versus sixth form. College, I think, is better for people who are more independent because you're not spoon fed as much. Like I said, there's a larger um, diaspora of subjects that you can take, and you can also do vocational studies. So with college, you meet a bigger group of people from who all aspects of life, all different walks of life, um, which is good because I think it can really help develop you as a person. Colleges are more social, so if you're looking for those type of things, I would definitely say pick college. Don't pick college if you don't like to be around a ton of people. Don't pick college also if you know that you're not good at balancing your schedule, because you will get distracted with all the parties and, you know, hanging out with different people, and it will affect your grades. And don't pick college if you feel like you wouldn't be ready to go to uni rather soon, I would say, is the best kind of similarity I would compare it to. If you still feel like you need to kind of be nurtured a little bit by teachers, go to sixth form. But that doesn't mean that you have to stay at the same sixth form that you went to. I really wish that I changed sixth form. Not because I didn't like my secondary school. I love my secondary school, which is why I stayed. Um, but there were a lot of people there that were wicked, and not just directly being mean. I had a lot of issues with friends, a lot of snaky friends, but also just really underhanded comments, and like just being snidey, and people thinking that they were superior, and prestige, and a lot of this. Anyway, just basic behavior. So I do wish that I had made the decision to switch. Saying that, I did learn a lot about how to deal with people, um, and that not everyone is nice. So thank you. I would also say make sure that you're keeping up with extracurricular activities if you have them, not just for your personal statement, but as de-stressors. I really didn't do a good job with this at sixth form. I think I did, yeah, I did play netball for a little bit of year 12, but it wasn't as regular as it was before when I was in secondary school. And all my other interests, I would say, completely fell off. And it's probably one of the reasons why I was so stressed all the time. I was burning myself out, waking up early hours of the morning to try and do some revision, then doing work all throughout the day, coming home, doing revision. I was not making really any time for myself. So it really affected my work. I would say, I honestly think that if I'd actually spent less time doing work and more time doing fun things that I used to enjoy, baking, reading books, etc., I would have ended up with better grades because I would be able to focus. And that's one of the things with stress, it makes you really unfocused when it's too much, when it's gone overboard. So, yeah, make sure that you're definitely keeping up with other activities, hanging out with friends. That's something that I also reduced on severely. Apart from like hanging out in the common room and stuff, I didn't really hang out with my friends as much as I should have outside of school. Another piece of advice I would give, so this is mainly targeted at med school, dentistry, veterinary sciences people. Um, don't feel disheartened if you're not getting the grades that you want to get at sixth form and think that, no, I'm never going to get into medicine, because that's exactly how I felt when I saw my BBC grades. I was just like, right, I'm stuck now, because unless you have extenuating circumstances, um, you retaking is not going to look good. Um, and I just felt like my hopes and dreams were slipping away. My life was over. It was really dramatic. But having had friends that have now come out the other side and are doing dentistry and are practicing medicine is extremely, number one, inspirational for me, and number two, it just shows that it is possible. I think it is easier to get into medicine or dentistry as a postgrad student because it shows that you're really passionate about the subject. Having done a bioscience degree and then progressing on to medicine shows that you still really want to do it, and it shows resilience, which is something that they look for in those type of professions. Number two, you will mature over those 3 or 4 years of your degree, and that maturity will also help you with dealing with patients and building on those interpersonal skills. Number three, you've already gone to university, so you kind of know what it's like to study as a university student, which is completely different than studying as an A-level student. And for those of you that moved away from home, you now know how to cope with that, what coping mechanisms you should do. Whereas obviously for students coming straight out of sixth form, a lot of them have never been away from their parents for more than a week or so. So you come in with a lot of advantages which will help you not only write your personal statement but come across as more confident in interviews. So don't feel disheartened, and some people end up doing biosciences and realizing that that's a career that's more tailored to what they want to do, and they end up branching off in that route. But as I said before, if you end up continuing with the medical profession, then it looks a lot better for you because it shows that resilience. Something I would also like to say regarding A-levels, this is generalized. If you do feel like you need to have tuition, and you feel like tuition is extremely expensive, because it can be. I've seen people charging like £60 per hour, and I'm thinking, if you're not writing my exam paper for me, like, why am I paying you this? But anyway, I would say try and look for online tutoring, because that can still give you that one-to-one experience. I am currently with an online tuition business, and it's had really good reviews. And like I said, it gives you that one-to-one tutoring system, so you don't have to feel overwhelmed with being in a group tuition scenario, which I know isn't. I think there are advantages with group tuition, don't get me wrong, but I think some people need that kind of one-to-one to be able to grow their knowledge without feeling like they're going to be ridiculed or feeling embarrassed anyway. Because sometimes, a lot of times, people don't really care. They're too scared to ask the questions that you're asking anyway. But just that inward embarrassment, sometimes it's nicer to have that one-to-one, and online tuition offers you that with a whilst being a cheaper option. Look online, because a lot of tuition companies will do decreased rates for those from lower income backgrounds, especially those of lower income minority ethnic backgrounds. So definitely try and do some research. But that's all I really have for today. But I would say this, I don't think anyone can really prepare you for what A-levels are. I definitely, no matter how many people told me, and I had so many older cousins telling me, I still feel like I was catapulted, like, whilst being blindfolded into the situation that is A-levels. I don't think anyone could have prepared me for it. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Regarding my advice and stuff, I have a friend actually as well. If you're looking for dentistry, veterinary sciences, UCAT tips, he goes under Dr. Charles, so you should definitely check his YouTube out. He is more tailored to medics, because he is a medic, so giving those type of tips for interviews and such, but he also does give UCAT advice. But yeah, thank you for listening thank you for listening to my video.